tuning in to my podcast, bro. It's from hometown to higher grounds. It's hosted by me, your boy. And man, tell me a little bit about yourself, bro.
First of all, I appreciate you having me. My name is Jai Chisolm, but I go by Jay. I'm from Summerville, South Carolina, and I am a Division One basketball player, but I've been playing basketball my whole life.
Man, you say you're from South Carolina, like Summerville. Tell me what it was like
Yes,
growing
sir.
up there, bro.
Uh, I mean, it's not really a very luxurious place. It's not like big city, big lights. It's more of a calm area. Calm area. I feel like there's a lot to do for new people, but I mean, me growing up there was kind of like I've done everything in the area, but I feel like it's a nice little city just to be in, if you want more peace and quiet and not so much of a big city, I would
Right.
say.
Because you guys near Charleston, so it's like you guys in like that little middle part right there, right? It's like a little, yeah. Man, how long have you been playing basketball, man?
I've been playing basketball since pretty much since I can walk. I learned how to shoot a ball at 10 months. So like I mean, I've been doing it for a good long time now.
Oh
Probably say
man, he
about like
came out.
18 years.
You came out with the rock in the womb, man.
Yeah, man.
But
I was palming the ball already, bro.
hey, man, chill out, man. Chill out, man. Little you guys know, man. This is my boy here, man. We've been at it for a good minute. One of my closest guys. We both have similar dreams to playing professional basketball, and right now he's on the college level, Division One, as you guys know. Tell him where you at right now, man.
I'm at Cal State Northridge University in California.
Man, and this man has overcome a lot of things, man. But I'm pretty sure that you guys gonna get a chance to really get an idea of who he is and what has made him to who he is today. And I'm pretty sure, man, he's a great man, man. Hey, man, y'all finna hear a whole lot of great things about him, man. So when did you realize at first that basketball could really take you in places that open a lot of doors for you? Like when did you realize that like this is it? Like this is like I like this.
I would say I feel like I always knew I liked the sport, but I feel like I've always had a love for the sport since I was a kid. I mean, that's all I did growing up, outside in the backyard, playing any chance I got, I had a ball in my hand. But I would say for me, when I really realized that I could really do something in the game and like it could have, the ball could have a chance to affect my life and change my life, I would say it was probably my sophomore year of high school.
Hmm. What was
So
high
that I
school
mean,
like your
that was
sophomore
my
year?
first year varsity. One
Man,
more
how
time.
was that? How was that like in high school? Like when you said like your sophomore year, what was that like? When is like what part? Like, did you have any moment in a game where you was like, oh yeah, this is easy. Like this is easy for me now. Like I like because we all have as a basketball player, we always have that moment that's like, oh yeah, like I'm him. Like I'm it's gonna start flowing. Like it's like you that gear shift kick in, and you just start flowing with the thing.
Yeah.
Like it come to you. It's part of you now. What moment in high school did you feel like all right, like you're part of your sophomore year was like all right, yeah, this it right here. Like it hit.
I would probably say it was my first game of varsity. I got moved up so my freshman year, I played on B team, which is like below JV. And then from my freshman to sophomore year, I got bumped to varsity. And I was I think about the sixth or the seventh man off the bench.
Mm.
And I remember I came in the game, maybe like 5 minutes into the first quarter or so, and I came in and I hit a three. Like my first shot that ever went up, it was a three and it went in. And I felt good about it. And then throughout the game, in the second half, I think it was the third quarter or so, I
Mm.
hit two more threes, and then I hit another three in the fourth quarter, and I had 12 points in my first varsity game. So I kind of realized that like, it's not easy, but it's like it kind of let me know like I could do something with this. So I mean, it
Definitely.
it was definitely a surreal moment.
Man, it's one of them bone chilling moments, right? When you first get through that little three, the crowd behind you, and especially when you're at home,
Yeah, man.
it's like no ice tray moments. Like you just everything is just like getting numb. Man, you ever get cold, like because it's so like
Yeah.
yeah, it's some goosebumps. They go crazy, man. So I see that you played for the University of South Carolina at Salkehatchie, Salk for short, as you
Yep.
guys would say. And I see, like, where did you finish your career? Like, what was your mindset going into your first year there?
My mindset going in my first year was I wanted to I wanted to impact the game in ways
Mm,
that would transfer from the JUCO level to Division 1 level. So I wanted to be able to come in and score the ball at a high level and defend at a higher level and be all around just make plays for the team that
mm,
was a winning effort. I think those would be the main things that I say I wanted to do coming in as a freshman.
right. All right. Because I noticed, like, I was like, man, I was watching some of your games. And I was like, man, this man, killing it, man. Like, and that was around a good time. Like, me and you first started like getting to know each other more, and like, and I started
Yeah.
watching you more, started seeing clips of you. Like, this man dunking on everybody, man. Like, I said, this man, he's waiting on anybody to come try to jump with him. Like, remember you like nobody would ever jump with you, but when they did, though,
It
Gary
got
Payton
scary.
head scratches, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. So going into your first year, you had a lot of goals going into it. I know you getting a lot like you in South Carolina still. It felt good to be home. Like, did they feel like
Yeah.
you had a lot of support, like still being home from your mom? 'Cause I know your mom was a huge like that's your winglet, that's your right hand lady. And I know she's always been in your circle. I know family's a big thing for you. I know you have a little sister that's playing this year, following you right
Yes,
at the
sir.
university as well, man. Shout out to her. Um, what was it like with the coaches there? Like, did you like was it like easy getting into the rhythm with them? And was it like, or was it difficult? Because when you first get into a system at a JUCO level, everybody, it's a dog world. Everybody say the JUCO level is like
Hmm.
it's hard. So how was it for you going there? Like, did it take you a little minute to get comfortable, or it clicked right away? You know?
I would say more so, I feel like it clicked right away, but in a sense of my athletic ability.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like stepping on the court, it was like everybody knew like I was probably the highest jumping guy there. I shot the ball at a high clip. I could handle the ball pretty well, and I could play defense. But I feel like in terms of the coaching staff, I feel like for me personally, it was something that, took a bit of adjusting to because I was only familiar with my high school coach who I had a great bond with since my freshman year of high school when he came and found me. But now switching to a whole different style of coaching and a whole different person in general, it kind of it took me for a bit of a turn. So I had to do a bit of maturing throughout my year there, throughout my 2 years there. So I would say athletically, it was right away. But in terms of maturity and coaching staff, it took me a little bit just to kind of start to understand.
Right. That's what's up, man. I'm like, I know that some guys, like when you go there, it's going to take a little minute just to get into the system, because all it is a system, and buying into it as the coaches are buying into you. And it's just all about just really just buying in. It's all about buying in. And
Yeah.
I know that you got a lot from that, and and I see, and goes into the next thing I wanted to talk about. I know that your first year there, like, you guys was in the playoffs. And
Hmm.
let's talk about the Achilles injury that you had during that time in the playoffs, because you was hot, man. Like, I know that your name was buzzing. Like, Instagram was going crazy. I saw like newspaper article, the school was shouting you out a lot, and I saw you had a lot of hype going on you, man. And during that time, like, you had an Achilles tear. How did it affect your mentality during that time, or the plans that you thought you had for yourself? Like.
Yeah. So during that time, like you said, I was having probably one of the games of my life. I mean, I was performing at a very high level in front of a lot of Division 1 and Division 2 coaches. So I feel like for me to go down the way I went down, it in the first moment I didn't really believe it and I didn't know I was hurt. like the initial tear, it was like I just thought somebody fell on me, and I turned around and nobody was there. I tried to get up and I tried to stand and walk, and my leg went numb.
What they
The
call that? That's
trainer
like they.
got me, and she told me,
Yeah,
"So
like somebody
what?"
said that they always think like you they feel like a kick or something. That's how they describe it, like somebody they kicked them. They always turn around and see like ain't nobody
Uh-huh.
there, but I just felt that, you know. But
hmm
I see,
Felt
you
like
go ahead.
somebody hit me in the back of the leg with a baseball bat. It was crazy. It was very crazy. But yeah, the trainer ended up telling me, she told me that it was torn, and I think my first initial reaction was, I don't know where I'm gonna go from here.
Hmm.
I obviously had throughout that season, I had a very growing and great relationship with my coach, but it was something where it was like I didn't know the time period of how long it takes to get back from Achilles injuries, or what I would look like after my recovery.
Hmm.
So my mind was all over the place, and until about like a week after the injury, I finally started to kind of settle in, and I just started to trust the process. And it had some ups and downs to it. I would say honestly, but it was a shock for me personally.
Definitely. How long did you have to sit out for, like to rehab this injury? Because I know like you was back like out of the boot like faster than I ever thought you would be, man. Like how long? What was that
Yeah.
recovery process like for you, man?
Well, I always get told, even by my trainers here at my new school, I have a abnormal recovery speed. The normal recovery length is between 6 to 8 months. I
Hmm.
started playing basketball again and running and playing in games in 2 months. It might have been 3 months. Might have been 3 months. Might have been 3 months. I think it was 3 months because I tore it in March, had surgery
Hmm.
in April, and was back on the court in June. So it
Do you
was it was
understand how
definitely
crazy that
a
is?
yeah. I feel like God had his hand on me in that situation because I was itching to play. I mean, while I was in the boot, I was outside shooting the ball. Like, he definitely had his hand on me in that situation. But it definitely is something that's very abnormal and not really heard of.
Hmm.
So I'm a very blessed young man to be able to come back as fast as I did.
Definitely, man. God most definitely had His hands on you, and because we always seen like the greats, like Kevin Durant. Now you see Damian Lillard have these Achilles tears. You see Halliburton in the finals have his tear, and like I know that takes a mental toll on you yourself. And like, what did that injury like with you? When we as basketball players or as athletes itself, like you always want to hurry up and get back to what you want, what you love to do,
Hmm
and especially when you're on the roll and like as you were dominating, you were killing. Like, man, I want to get back to it. Like, I crave that hunger. I want to feel that fire again, that satisfaction. I want to crave that. I want that again. So when you first had the injury, and, you had the surgery. What was your mentality like? Was you like, did it like drop for you? Did it like, or you was like, man, you know what? Like, I'm good. Or like, did you lose yourself for a minute and you found yourself? Like, what was that like?
I would say it was a roller coaster is the best way to explain it.
Hmm.
There was a lot of high moments where I was very positive, then there was a lot of low moments where I wasn't so positive. But I feel like the biggest help through all of that was my spiritual journey throughout that, because my spiritual journey started to come on through my injury. And that's why I feel the way I feel about my injury now. I feel like when it first tore it, I was in a very low place, and I was filled with a lot of disappointment because I couldn't play. I was filled with a lot of
Hmm.
anger because I didn't know where I was going to go. Uh, there was a whole lot of emotions going on throughout my injury. So I feel like getting through it was definitely difficult in certain standpoints. But like I said, I feel like God spoke to me through, he basically was speaking to me through this injury. And I feel like if I wouldn't have gotten hurt, I probably would have made a decision in terms of picking a school that wouldn't have been right for me necessarily.
Hmm.
So I feel like it was him just allowing me to be patient. And I feel like that's why I view my injury now, I feel like some people wouldn't view it. And I just feel like for me personally, it allows for me to kind of share a testimony on where I'm at with recovery
Right.
speed, with growth in that area, with how I was moving, how I was responding to said injury. It just allowed for me to, grow as a man and grow as a person in general. So
So you
that's
feel
what I
like
would
that
say.
injury, yeah, definitely, man. You feel like that injury was able to help you reshape your identity for yourself because at a times, probably, man, like everything is about basketball. Like I'm basketball here, and it's like
Yep.
nobody can tell me nothing. It's all I know, and you feel like the injury was to help you like you said, God was able to give you that patience that, and He's able to humble you to be like, hey, like this is my timing. You know what I'm saying for you, and this is as I
Hmm.
want for you, and like I want you to slow it down so you can see the things I want you to see. You know,
Yep.
hey man,
And
God is good, man.
yes, sir. I think that it was something that, like you said, it allowed me to kind of get an identity outside of basketball. I've always referred to myself as a basketball player.
Hmm.
And now I refer to myself as someone who plays basketball. It's not my identity anymore. I, through my injury, it started to help me understand and find what I want to do after the sport.
Right.
Everybody always talks about, what are you gonna do like when the ball stops bouncing, or what are you gonna do if
Right.
you don't like if, for some people who don't really understand my dreams, they're like, well, what are you gonna do after after the sport?
Hmm.
And it has helped me find what I want to do. And I feel like through my injury, it allows for me to share my trials and tribulations with people who either have went through the same things or
Hmm.
just help people understand that like, sometimes whenever you have minor setbacks, God may be setting you up for major comebacks. So it allows for me to just honestly just touch people in a way that can help them move forward and spread positivity throughout, throughout the world. And my
Definitely.
that's how I'm trying to go through it.
Okay. Nah, I like that, man. Like, all right, what were some of the key things you learned during that time away from the court? Like, is it something that you learned about yourself, like about your game, or about yourself? Like, what did you learn? Like, man, like I didn't even know I liked this type of stuff. Like, like what did you figure out about yourself that you liked during that time, man?
Uh, I would say that some of the things I started to learn is that I never really realized how much of a people person I really am, but I feel like through my injury, people started to ask me a lot of questions. They would obviously see the big old boot on my foot and they'd be like, "Oh, what happened?" So I would have more people start to conversate with me. So I started to learn how to
Mm.
speak to people. And I feel like that opened up a door for me, which now I know what I want to do in terms of a career, but it opened up a lot of opportunities for me to kind of, whether it was understand, like things about people or just, learn different things about myself. It allowed for me to just, reach people in a more broad way instead of, because I was always more secluded and more to myself
Mm.
when before my injury. I was always like, I don't really want to talk to nobody. Like I like to stay in my own lane. I don't really like to have no conversations,
Yeah,
but
I was
now I'm
just about
more
to say,
open to
like, man,
speaking.
have you? Yeah, I was just about to say, man, have you ever been like, I've never done this before. I never really think I like to like, cause you have a lot of introverts, and especially like in today's time. Not saying you know what I'm saying, like, cause there are times like a lot of people like to
Yeah.
say to themselves, it's safer, especially like wherever you from, wherever like in the community. It depends, you know what I mean. And some guys like, and not to say like it ain't guys that's in these type of communities where like they still like extroverted. And but sometimes like you don't realize like, dang, I really didn't get out as much as I used to, or as like I supposed to, or I would like to, and like now you get to delve in conversations, you meeting different people, you putting your name in rooms, you stepping foot in rooms, that you never even thought you'd be in, even in just like just growing that relationship with anybody, and me, because I know
Hmm.
I can talk with anybody, and like, and my fiance, she always asks me like, how you do it. I was like, God, I don't know. Like it's nothing that have a conversation. You just got to place yourself out there. And then for
Yep.
like, cause you used to always, like be in the gym, you working, you working. Like these guys that they working, they traveling. Like you don't have time for that. But now that you have time to
Hmm.
like sit down, you get a chance to like observe, like, man, like I never thought, like, dang, like what is this? Like you start noticing pictures on the walls, so you didn't know that picture was there. That picture been there since you was
Yeah.
10. You know what I mean? Like, but we've been working. You know what I mean? So like I understand. I like how you was able to take time to reach, like to conversate with everybody, reach out to people as they coming up to you, and you be like, dang, I like that fulfillment that I'm getting, and that energy I'm getting. You
Hmm.
starting to see people that care for you, not only just for basketball, but for just you as a person. You know. And I
Yep.
know that
Hmm.
that's more important than anything because like man, it's like some guys they have battles with the people around them because like they was like if I don't have this ball, you don't pay attention to me or you don't love me or I'm not valuable to you, you know?
Yep.
And I'm glad that you get a chance to see that you see that people value you for who you are. Like a ball doesn't make you, you know, you make the ball, you know what I'm saying? Like it's what you love to do.
Yeah.
And you know, and it's more to it than just what we just been put out to know, you know?
Yes, sir. I would definitely agree with that. I think that it's a major realization once you understand that
Hmm.
you're not just someone who is a basketball player, but like for me, I also realize that there's a lot of young people that I encourage or that I inspire.
Hmm.
So it's like how I carry myself as well. That also allowed for me to, when I got hurt, I had so many people reaching out to me. Like a lot of those people were younger people who were like either fans of my game or like how I
Right.
played, or honestly just they liked the type of person I was. And it
Hmm.
allowed for me to understand that like my impact with basketball is much bigger than just basketball. Like there's certain people who like they want to play like me, or they want to you know act like me, or like because I like to joke, I like to laugh, so people like to be in those high spirits. So it
Definitely.
allows for me to just understand that like the game itself is something that branches off into many more things than just basketball, and it's
It's
a
bigger
lot
than
of in
ball.
a lot of ways it can help. Yep, it can help a lot of people, but it brings us
Yeah,
all together.
definitely, man. This game is so big, and there's so much that you can just get from this game, man. This game will take you many places. This game will introduce you to many people, and sometimes if you're not a basketball player, you become a coach, you could become a trainer, you could become just a role model just because you have done it before, and people look at you for that advice. You know what I'm saying? People can put you and always just you just you come valuable. You're not just a has been. You've never just been somebody that's just in the past. You know what I'm saying? You're always treasurable, and then what you put in, you get back. You know, I fully believe that what you put
Yeah.
in, you'll get that back. You know, so so fast forward, man. Now you're headed to California, man, to play Division I basketball after your first year there in the playoffs. You tore your Achilles. Second year there, I know you killed it, man. Before we come go into this question here, what was that second year like when you came back from the injury? What was it like? Was it like a mental block playing again from the Achilles injury? And like when you came back from that, was it like a mental block?
I so like I know a lot of people have this issue where the mental block is they're afraid of re-injuring themselves.
Mm-hmm.
And for me personally, when I talked to my surgeon and he cleared me to play, the biggest thing on my mind wasn't, oh my goodness, am I gonna re-tear it? Because he
Mm-hmm.
already had affirmed me that like the chances of me re-tearing it are not high. So my biggest challenge was giving everything I got on the court and just trying to be that guy while also uplifting people around me. So
Mm-hmm.
I feel like, and like I said, I was like this was a year ago, but I feel like the maturity that I've gotten from this past year to the present day is a big jump. I feel like it has that second year was very necessary for me, not in terms of an athletic standpoint, but in terms of a maturity and a mental standpoint. It allowed for me to kind of be a leader on the court as well as off the court. Showing people that like there's things that go into this game that are unseen. Like I had a lot of like during my downtime, I had a lot of time to myself. But when I came back, I wasn't being spiteful or hateful to nobody or anything like
Mm-hmm.
that. So it allowed for me to kind of show that, although something bad happened to me, I'm coming back with a very positive mindset because I want to do something do something big, do something
Right.
special. So
Hmm. Man, definitely, man. You hit a such a 360 because you know, like, hey, man, it's all could be taken just like that, you know, and
yep.
just come back with that great uplifting spirit about yourselves. And how did that when you bringing that back to you guys? What was it like with your teammates? Like, did you guys like? They was like, oh, like man, who is this guy? Like, this a new guy here, or they was like, or it just kept going, like it just rolled like ain't nothing changed, like because you're a great guy, you know, you never like a negative person, you was never a cancer person to the team,
Yeah.
and then when you got back, it was like, oh yeah, we definitely it's added more fuel to it now, like you pushing them even more, and you just wanted more,
Hmm.
and with you going, it's like it just like it was like a domino, it was like stacking, like it was like domino, like a tower, like was it like was that like everything that the team needed from you when you feel like when you brought that back? Was it like enough to give y'all the extra push to the team?
Yeah, I would definitely say that coming back, me me being the way I was,
Hmm.
some days I would have, like I said, my mindset wasn't where it is now, but it's like, it the days that my mindset was great, which
Hmm.
was I would say about like 80% of the time, it was like, I would come into practice and I would challenge everybody in the gym, like whether it was talking some friendly trash or whether it was, you know, going at them and seeing how they respond, or whether it was our coach giving me a push, which then ultimately gave them a push.
Definitely.
It allowed for us to kind of compete at a high level, and
Hmm.
it allowed us to win a lot of games because we were jointed, and it was like it allowed for us to just be the best versions of ourselves even when we necessarily didn't feel like it. And I feel like that was something that was very beneficial to me coming back the way I came back and with the mindset that I had, because I wanted to win flat out. Like it was like, I fell short through an injury the previous season,
Hmm.
and I mean, I'm in JUCO. This is my second year. You only get 2 years in JUCO. So like after this, it's like I gotta go somewhere, or else I'm not going anywhere. So it's like my mindset was like, we gotta get out of here. So it's like the only way we're gonna do that is if on in
Together.
practice we're doing what we gotta do, and then we're together, and then in games we're together and we're doing what we gotta do, and we handle business.
Definitely. Brothers, man, it's a brotherhood, you know?
Yep,
And you got each other's back, and that's all it's about, man. When you're playing, it's not about eyes, you know? You're always a team, you know? You always got to push
for
the other
sure.
one a little bit more. It's always a role, you know? But
Hmm.
tell me, like, toot your horn a little bit, man. Let them know what you finished the year with your career there with, man. Like, tell them what was it like ending that year? Like, what accolades did you leave out of there with, man? Talk to
Well, first starters, I was the defensive player in the year in our conference.
them.
That was definitely something that kind of meant something to me, because in high
Hmm.
school, my mom always like she always used to get on my back because I didn't play defense.
Hmm.
But so it was kind of a moment where it felt good to know that like I impacted the team not just on offense, because I've always been a great scorer, but I impacted the game on the other side of the ball as well. So I feel like that was very good. And then considering I won Defensive Player of the Year, I averaged over 15 points, and I averaged about like 7 to 8 rebounds a game. So I mean, like I was definitely
Everywhere. You was
impacting.
everywhere, man.
Yeah, I was everywhere on the floor, man.
And just a heads up, man, to like the kids out there is like, man, you can. It's not about the game is never just about offense. It's all about defense as well. Like, what can you do to impact your game? And you know, like you can dominate the ball from both sides of the floor. And you know, you bought into a system where you were surrounded by other guys that could put the ball in the hole, and you didn't. You fulfill other roles with the team. You know, playing defense, like getting blocks, getting the
Yep,
big stops, making the big plays, and that's what it's all about. It's never just about who can shoot a three like Curry. You know, who can come down just jack up with shot. It's all about like just fulfilling your role and just doing what your team needs, you know, and everything
for
else will
sure.
just flow, you know, man. So congratulations to you again with that, man. I know your hard work definitely paid off. Well, it pays off when you put time into it, and you definitely got rewarded for that, man. So congratulations on your accolades from there. And fast forward, man. So you're headed to California. to play D1 basketball, man. From a kid from South Carolina, like from Summerville at that, like what is that? How does that feel?
I mean, the feeling's unreal. I mean, like I've always dreamt of playing Division 1 basketball
Hmm.
my entire life. For me personally, I never had a dream school. I just wanted to get paid for what I want to do.
Hmm.
And back when I was a little younger, we weren't athletes in college weren't getting paid like NIL money and things like that to play at the Division 1 level. But now I'm fortunate enough to be able to get paid like a good bit of money to do what I love to do. And I personally think
Right.
that like growing up in my hometown, you know, some people look at you and they be like, "Oh man, like you crazy." Like
Hmm.
it's a nice dream, it's a nice goal, but like let's be real, like they're trying to not tear you down, but like they want to make sure you got something else in line in case that doesn't go right. But for me to
Right.
know that, you know, I have people in my corner and now I'm at where I'm at, it's honestly just a great feeling to know that I'm doing something I actually love. And I'm having fun while
Absolutely.
doing it at that. So, I
Absolutely,
mean, it's
man.
crazy.
It's a blessing, man. And you know, going into that decision, bro, like, and I know you just said everything that was like, a lot of things in the community, like, saying like, "Man, you crazy for doing all that, man." Like, going into that decision, like, how hard was it to decide to leave like your hometown? You know what I'm saying? Like, leaving like everybody behind, like your family behind, because you're in Los Angeles, right? Because like that's a
Yes,
whole
sir.
different, that's a bigger world over there. As everybody know, LA is busy 24/7. And how hard was that the decision to leave? Was it a hard decision, or it was like a, like I gotta do what I gotta do, man? It was like a deuces.
It was definitely, I feel like it was a combination. So I told my mom, I was like, I sat her down, I looked at her and I said, "Ma, like, you know, I want to play basketball at the highest level possible.
Hmm.
California has a lot of opportunity there, which could
Right.
allow me to reach what I want to do. And I know that that comes at the cost of flying across the United States. And that means that, yes, I know you won't be able to come see me play because, like I said, she's my biggest supporter. So,
Hmm.
like, she won't be able to see me play in person. But I told her, I was like, there's going to be ways where you're going to be able to see me play in person. It just won't be every game. And I told her,
Right.
you could also watch me online on ESPN. So
That's
she
it.
she was my main she was my main person who I had to convince. But once I got her to get convinced, it was like, then it was like everything's on board. Like I understand that, you know, everybody from my sisters, my brother, my uncles, my aunts, like they all understand that like this is what I want to do. So like
Right.
they never even batted an eye. And they were like, if that's what you want to do, go do it.
Hmm.
But and like they'll be with me all the way. But like my mom, it's hard for her to let her baby go. So I understand that.
Yeah.
But once I got her on board, it was all smooth sailing from there.
Hey man, and then like the OG man, the mom always gonna make sure like she wanna make sure the baby you good, make sure you're going into a situation where that it's nothing like being in your mom's arm. Your mom's wants to know like I can watch my baby, I want to support my baby, I want to be there, like because she know you more than anybody in this world.
Hmm.
Except the God man, the
Yes,
God
sir.
himself. You know what I'm saying? So I know that was kind of like a situation where I know you had to really convince her, and I know like the time because going back like take a back step back to when you tore your Achilles, that time now has led to that time then has led you to now to where like when you in California, it's like, man, mom, like it's not just basketball. Like I'm here, I can do this, I can do that. And moms just want to see her baby just flourishing, to see her baby just being comfortable. Because if you're comfortable, she's comfortable, and she's
Hmm.
saying that you just thriving all around. I know that really played a role into really helping you. Like, yeah, I trust you. I know you're gonna go over there do your thing, and I know that's all that you needed, just that little confirmation right there to just go out there and rock out.
Yeah. She definitely is a very understanding woman as well. So like you said, I feel like it just her knowing that I'm comfortable and I'm enjoying doing what I'm doing, it allowed for her to kind of ease her mind. And then like
Hmm.
she's on her own spiritual journey as well with God. And God, she said that God kind of affirmed her that like he's got me. Like,
Hmm.
I'm she's my mother by birth, but like I'm his son. He got me. So,
Right.
that was her biggest thing, was just understanding that just because I'm going across the country doesn't mean that I'm gonna be put in harm's way, or something like I'm not gonna there's not gonna be anybody here for me. Because my coaches, I mean, like they honestly, like they treat me like my head coach treats me like I'm his own son. So it's like it allows for, and so his wife as well, like she treats me like I'm her own son. So, with that also being said, it allows for her to know that she's sending her son to a good place. And it's not like she's letting him go into the big old city of California, and she don't know what I'm gonna do. Like she knows that I'm gonna be in good hands.
Right. That's all the mom knows. So make sure you protected, that you're good, that you're safe, and because the world is now, man, it's insane. Like it's always something here and
Yep.
there. The news is flashing this and that. Headline this, it like it's always just about protection, just
Hmm.
making sure that you're okay. Sure to make sure that baby's okay. And speaking into this move, what does this move represent to you? Not just as a player, but just as a person. What does this move represent to you?
Um, I feel like for me, it's like I mean, I've been in South Carolina my whole life, never really went on vacations for real. There was really like it could have been financial, it could have just been timing with like school or with like work with my mom. So it was like, I never really got to leave, but me moving out here, it really made me realize that the world is much bigger than I could ever imagine. Like, there's so
Hmm.
many opportunities out here, like whether it's in sports or whether it's in business or whether it's, it could be whatever. But like it really opened my eyes just to how big this world really is. And then even in terms of like I've met people who are from like I've met people who are from Germany, Australia, the UK. So like it really just gives me, like, moving out here just allows me to really realize like there's a lot out here to offer. So I
Hmm.
mean, I think that would be like my biggest takeaway from the move itself.
Definitely, man. And this is like, so this is one of my favorite parts of the podcast, this is where I call it the advice and legacy. And this is where I
Hmm.
ask you three questions that I want you to, give to the audience or anybody that's following in your footsteps. It's just doing the same thing as you. And
Hmm.
first question is, what would you say to younger athletes back home in Summerville who want to follow a path like yours?
What I would say to those younger athletes, I would say, you know, stay grounded. Listen to the adults around you, I feel like there's a lot of adults who are giving good advice, and I feel like sometimes even when I think back to my younger self, we think we know it all. So we
Hmm.
kind of blow off what they say, or like we kind of take what they say and like, oh, I kind of do that, but I don't really want to. I would say just stay grounded, stay disciplined in what you're doing. Keep on working, keep on pushing yourself, keep on listening to the people around you, and most importantly, take care of your grades, because grades will carry you a long way in college
Definitely,
sports.
absolutely, absolutely. No good grades, you don't play. Tell them again, man. You don't play
Tell them
without them
again,
grades,
man.
man. Hey, man. Say the one over the back, in the back. All that laughing and playing, man. Get lock in, bro. Lock in.
Trying to tell you. I've been there,
All right.
man, from low GPA to now I'm sitting with a 4.0. Like, but it
Hello,
took a lot of discipline and it took a lot of work. So
and
it's
it's
a
doable.
lot different. Yes,
It's
sir. It
doable. It's
definitely
definitely
is.
doable. You'll make that change if you want something great out of it, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Next question, man. If someone is dealing with an injury or fear of change or stepping into the unknown, like you did, like you dealt with your Achilles injury. Now you going to California, man. That's a whole different culture shock.
Yep.
What message would you leave with them that has that people that's dealing with an injury, that's fear to make changes? You know what I'm saying? It's fear of change. Because everybody's not is not has the courage enough to have the confidence enough, the comfortable enough, like the ability to be like, hey, man, like I got this. I'm gonna do this, man. Some people have fear, um, dealing with an injury or just trying to a fear of change. People scared of change, man. You hear it all the time. You
Mm-hmm.
see it in your community. Some things just don't change, and or
Yep,
just stepping out on faith. 'Cause that's what it's all about. It's all about stepping out on faith and trusting God and for the things that He
for
have for
sure.
you, man. So, what message would you leave for them that are scared to do things like that, like dealing with injuries, fear of change, or just stepping out?
I would say first and foremost, as a man who initially had his own doubts, I would say trust in God. God ultimately knows the plan that He has for you, and sometimes things are not meant for you to understand. So I would say putting your trust in the Lord is the main thing that you need to do. But then after putting your trust in the Lord, I would say, you got to bet on yourself. I think that you got to know who you are. So if you don't know who you are, that kind of you got to figure that out first. So, I knew what I wanted to do and I know what I want to get out of this game. So I knew that in order for me to get what I want, I gotta bet on myself. So I gotta really put forth the effort and show what I can do wherever I'm at. And as long as I'm doing that, the results will come. But you gotta trust God and you gotta bet on yourself. I would say those are the two main things, as well as, just like I said, staying grounded. Don't let the inconveniences become something that overtakes and overshadows everything else, because those little things that come up, whether it's a injury, whether it's, financial issues, whether it's it could be whatever. But
Mm,
you gotta keep on moving. My favorite thing is that, I really learned that, like, whatever is going on, the world keeps moving, so it's something where you gotta take those little things. And, obviously people, we have feelings, so
right.
you're gonna feel certain things, but throughout those feelings, try to be as positive as possible, try to keep on pushing, and then ultimately just put your trust in God, and things will get better. It don't always rain forever. The sun gonna come out. So
Absolutely, man. And lastly, what do you want your legacy to be like on and off the court? Like, what do you want to leave out there? Like your legacy to be like.
on the court, I want people to realize that, I'm just a young guy who's hungry, who wants to be great ultimately. Like, I'm striving to be one of the greatest players to hopefully ever play the game. That's the goal. And I feel like for
Absolutely.
me, it's like, setting those big goals and then chasing after them, you know,
Mm,
as time goes on, when you look back and you're years ahead and you look back, you'd be like, man, like, my thing is, I don't ever want to look back and say, I wish I would have did this, or live with regret, because it's like, I know that personally for me, if I, especially through like the older people who have been in my life, or the leaders that I've known, they've always told me
mm,
regret is probably one of the biggest things that haunt people, because you
mm,
either don't take chances, or you feel like you didn't do enough. So I just
right.
want people to know that I'm a hardworking man who's chasing perfection. And then off the court, I would say that, through those things on the court, he's also trying to apply those things off the court. So his identity is not just a basketball player. I want my legacy to be that he was a guy who played basketball, but all around, he was a great man who helped out people in his community, people outside his community. He helped young men, he helped young women, he helped mothers, somebody who is just a very positive guy and who's living a life like Christ. And I think that ultimately, I just want
Amen.
everybody to remember me as a guy who shared love at the end of the day.
Amen, bro. Man, I'm super proud of you, man. I know
Thank
you
you,
got a
brother.
lot to look forward to this season, man. Hey, man, and when the
Yes,
schedule
sir.
dropping, bro? When the schedule dropping, man? They dropping the schedule yet, man?
So I'm waiting on the schedule myself. The only people I know we play is a team in California, and I'm not gonna say it yet, but, like, I'm waiting on the schedule myself. When I get the schedule, best believe the schedule will be posted, it will be sent, and everybody's gonna know when the games are.
Definitely
But
need
I
that because
got
I
you. It's
want to see
coming.
you play against one of them California teams. I know you know who I'm talking about because I'm trying to see you go to work.
Yup, yup.
Man, guys,
For
I'm here
sure.
with Jay Chisolm here, man. I wish you the best of luck through the season, bro. Keep going first. Thank you for spending your time with me on this podcast. God, this is my first
Yes, sir.
episode. Man, and man, many more to come,
I
bro. I'll
appreciate
most
you having
definitely.
me, my brother.
Hey, man, it's a pleasure, bro. Can't think of any other guests to start off with first, man. Blessed to have you as my brother. Um, hey, man, we in this thing.
You know,
Good luck to you, bro.